But we begin at noon with a bombshell FBI announcement. Federal agents have arrested 9 Boston police officers. They're accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime pay. Thank you so much for joining us right here on NBC 10 Boston. I'm Susan Tran.
And I'm Melody Mendez. So these are both current and former officers we're talking about here. They're charged in connection with committing over $200,000 in overtime fraud. Let's get to NBC 10's Abby Nesgoda. She's live outside federal court in Boston with more on this investigation. Abby, what have you learned?
Well, Melody, Susan, typically we would see these officers face a judge here in federal court right behind me. But with the pandemic, of course, they're going to appear virtually later on this afternoon. 2 p.m. is the time that we just confirmed from the U.S. attorney. And all this after federal prosecutors say these officers collected $200,000 in overtime that they never worked. Now, we're talking about 3 active duty Boston police officers, 6 retired officers who were all arrested at their homes this morning. They're all facing charges of overtime fraud. Prosecutors say this all happened while they were assigned to the department's evidence warehouse between 2016 and 2019. According to the indictment, which I just read, the officers routinely left the warehouse 2 or more hours early, but submitted overtime slips as if they'd worked the entire shift. No city officials want to speak on camera about this alleged overtime scandal, unsurprisingly, but they are issuing statements. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh saying, quote, "These allegations are an affront to the thousands of police officers who do their jobs every day with honesty, integrity, and bravery. I am outraged and, quite frankly, disgusted at the utter breach of trust by these 9 individuals at the Boston Police Department." Now, Boston Police Chief William Gross echoing that sentiment, saying, quote, "News of these indictments sends a strong message that this type of behavior will not be tolerated or ignored and can damage the trust my officers have worked so hard to build in the communities we serve." Again, these virtual court appearances are going to happen at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We will be watching, and we can tell you these embezzlement charges carry a maximum sentence of up to 10 years in prison. That's the very latest coming to you live outside federal court in Boston. I'm Abby Nesgoda, NBC 10 Boston.